Hey guys, welcome to CA Dreams YouTube channel. So this is the lecture number 4 of chapter number 4 of auditing. And we were discussing essay number 315, that is your identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environment, right? So we have discussed till here, right? So we have already discussed the portion identify and assess, and let me tell you that I'll speak in English only. Okay, I'll explain maximum portion in English, but if I will find that I may not be as such clear to the people who are more comfortable in Hindi, then I'll explain you that portion in Hindi also. Okay, and also let me know if you are not that clear with that portion, so I will explain that portion in Hindi. Like if you find that I have explained that portion only in English and you're not that clear with that part, then you can comment down and tell me that ma'am, please explain this part in Hindi. So I'll explain that specific portion in the next videos. Okay, and the essays for today are, you have to write the essay names of essay number 200, 220 and 210 and 230 also. This series wise, this will help you to remember them more efficiently, so that is why I am giving you series wise. So 200, 210, 220 and 230, you have to write the names of these essays. Okay, chalo, let's start with the topic understanding of the entity. And also let me know that whether this English Hindi mix explanation is helping you or not, specifically for the South peoples, the people from South India. Is my explanation helping you all? Please let me know. So, understanding of the entity, we have discussed the identification and assessment of identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement. Now we will move to the second component of this essay, and that talks about understanding the entity. So they are saying that understanding of the entity is a continuous process. Apart from audit, if we talk about a person, suppose you know a specific person, okay, let's say your friend only. So the number of years you are in friendship with each other, the number of years as they pass by, you start knowing more about each other. Yes, you start understanding more of each other. Similarly, when you enter into an entity, so you don't know much about that entity, but when you deeply analyze, when you find that there are more risks, or when you find that the controls is not efficient, or the situations of the entity are changing, so you are able to understand more about that entity. So the understanding part is a continuous process. It never stops. It starts from the start of audit, and it ends till the end of the audit. Okay, it is a continuous process. It's not that it will understanding of entity will be done only in the starting of audit. It's not like that. It is a continuous process. Okay, so obtaining an understanding of the entity and its environment, including the entity's internal control. Now we have already discussed that we not only understand the entity and its environment, but we also have to check the controls that are implemented by the management to reduce the risk, right? So we have to understand the entity and its environment, including the entity's internal control, referred to hereafter as an understanding of the entity. Now it is a continuous dynamic process of gathering, updating and analyzing information throughout the audit. It is a continuous and a dynamic process, right? So we gather information, and time to time we update it, and we analyze more and more information. Like if we find any doubtful situation, then we do a deep analysis of that. So in that way, understanding of the entity is a continuous process. It keeps on going on. So the understanding establishes a frame of reference within which the auditor plans the audit and exercises professional judgment throughout the audit. Now they are saying that by understanding the understanding the entity, the auditor is sent, the auditor frames that how he has to plan his audit work. When he understands the entity, so they are saying that he plans a frame that okay, this is the situation of this entity and this is how I will do the audit, and exercises professional judgment throughout the audit. And the auditor is supposed to exercise professional judgment. That means all the decisions which he will take should be in a professional manner. Okay, so they are saying, for example, when assessing risk of material misstatement of the financial statements, that when you assess the risk of material misstatement, so you may find that initially uh, the risk was not that high according to you. When you did the assessment, you were saying that the risk is not that high, but when you further understood the entity, when you checked more about that entity, you found that there is a high amount of misstatement, or there is a risk, there is a high risk of material misstatement here. So they are just saying that, for example, assessing risk of material misstatement, then determining materiality. Now this I have already told you. If you have watched my lectures of chapter number 2, then I have already told you that materiality, this is also a continuous process, right? So it keeps on changing. Like you may find it initially it is immaterial, but then after it becomes material, right? Then considering the appropriateness, so this all keeps changing as you understand more about the entity. Then identifying areas where a special audit consideration may be necessary, then developing expectations for use when performing analytical procedures, and evaluating the sufficiency and appropriateness of audit evidence obtained, such as appropriateness of assumptions and of management's oral and written representation. So this all keeps on changing as you understand more about the entity. So let's recall the points once again: assessing risk of material misstatement, then determining materiality, then appropriateness, considering the appropriateness of the selection and application of accounting policies. That means you will check that whether the entity has prepared its financial statements as per the uh, policies that exist in the current situation or not. Then identifying areas where a special audit consideration may be necessary. When you will understand the entity, then you will discover that where special audit is to be considered. For example, related party transactions. That means you have to deeply analyze these all categories: related party transactions, or the appropriateness that the management uses going concern as its principal, or considering the business purpose. So this all keeps on changing, right? Then developing expectations for use when performing analytical procedures, and evaluating that whether the audit evidence that you have obtained is sufficient or appropriate, or you need to find more evidences, right? So this all we have discussed. Now first let's read out the example, and then I'll explain you the whole portion. I'll summarize it in Hindi so that the students who could not understand totally in English, they can easily understand. Okay, so illustration: the auditor, and while I'm explaining in Hindi, for the South students I'm telling that the duration I'm explaining in Hindi, what you have to do is you just have to slow down the voice and read this whole portion. Okay, till the time I am explaining in Hindi, you just have to do this so that the concept is revised to you, and you may post the doubts if you are not clear. Okay, so let's read out the illustration. So the illustration is: the auditor of ABC Textile Limited talks about an audit plan without, I guess it will be, it means talks, I guess. Maybe there is misprinting, or they just mean that talks about, okay, an audit plan, or thinks about an audit plan without understanding the entity's business. So what have they done? The auditor of ABC Textile Limited, they have made a, okay, talks about means they have roughly drawn. Okay, talks about means they have roughly drawn it. Okay, so they have drawn an audit plan, and they haven't understood the entity. Without understanding the entity's business, they just have drawn the plan. Now suppose you are preparing for CA intermediate, right? So if you don't know that what subjects you are going to study, what are the number of topics in it, and without understanding the entire concept, what you just make a plan. So will your plan be successful? Does it make a sense? Obviously not, right? So since he has carried out many audits of textile companies, there is no need. He thinks that उसने बहुत सारे textile companies किए हैं, has done many textile audits, and he don't need to understand the nature of business, because he thinks that the nature of all textile business is same. So do you think he has took a valid decision? So advise the auditor how he should proceed. So the decision is obviously meaningless. He should first understand the entity, because it's not that the nature of business has an impact. It's not that only the nature of the business has an impact, but also the conditions, the situations in the entity, the effectiveness of controls, all these factors matter. right? So the auditor has to check all these. So you just have to advise that how he should proceed the process. So solution they have given: obtaining an understanding of the entity and its environment, including internal control, is a continuous dynamic process of gathering, updating, and analyzing information throughout the audit, and the auditor should proceed accordingly. So they're just saying that he should obtain an understanding, and it's not that he should obtain an understanding only in the starting, or only on the basis of the nature of the business, but it is a continuous and a dynamic process. That means it may differ from entity to entity, and so he is supposed to do the understanding of all the entities he is auditing, right? It is a continuous dynamic process of gathering, updating, and analyzing information. Now let me tell you this whole topic in Hindi. I'll just summarize you so that you can understand it. तो इसमें ये लोग बस ये बोल रहे हैं, हम लोगों ने लास्ट क्लास तक आइडेंटिफाइंग एंड असेसिंग तक हम लोगों ने डिस्कस कर लिया था, ठीक है ना? तो अब इसमें ये लोग जो बात कर रहे हैं, ये अब नेक्स्ट कंपोनेंट पे आ गए हैं, दैट इज़ योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग द एंटिटी एंड इट्स एनवायरनमेंट एंड इंक्लूडिंग एंटिटीज़ इंटरनल कंट्रोल, ठीक है? तो ये बस ये बोल रहे हैं कि ये जो है ना, ये कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस है। जैसे कि आप जैसे जैसे ऑडिट करेंगे, जैसे हम लोगों ने रिस्क वाले में भी डिस्कस किया था ये, कि जैसे जैसे हम एंटिटी की अंडरस्टैंडिंग लेते रहते हैं, हम नई नई हमें बातें पता लगती रहती हैं, तो उससे क्या होता है, हमें ये पता लग जाता है कि इस एरिया में रिस्क ज़्यादा है या कम है। मतलब हमें इनिशियली लगा था कि कम है, बट हो सकता है कुछ ऐसे फैक्टर्स अराइज हो गए, या हो सकता है आपको कुछ ऐसी बात पता लग गई जिसकी वजह से आपको क्या लगा, रिस्क ज़्यादा है यहाँ पे। तो ये आपने कैसे किया? ये आपने ऐसे किया जब आपने अंडरस्टैंड किया एंटिटी को, राइट? तो ये बस यही बोल रहे हैं कि ये कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस है एंड इट इज़ अ डायनेमिक प्रोसेस। फिर इसके बाद में अंडरस्टैंडिंग एस्टैब्लिशेस अ फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस विदिन विच द ऑडिटर प्लान्स द ऑडिट। तो जब वो ऑडिटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ले लेता है, फिर उसके बाद में वो ऑडिट प्लान कर लेता है, तो उसको एक फ्रेम मिल जाता है, एंड उसके बाद में उसको प्रोफेशनल जजमेंट जो है वो एक्सरसाइज करना पड़ता है। जैसे कि इन्होंने यहाँ एग्जांपल्स दिए हैं कि मतलब जब हम रिस्क को असेस कर रहे हैं, तो हम अंडरस्टैंडिंग के बेसिस पे ही हम ये असेस कर पाएंगे कि वो ज़्यादा है या वो कम है। फिर इसके बाद में आप मटीरियलिटी डिटरमाइन कर रहे हैं, अप्रोप्रिएटनेस आप डिटरमाइन कर रहे हैं, तो ये सारी की सारी चीज़ें आप तभी कर पाएंगे अगर आप अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ एंटिटी थ्रू आउट द ऑडिट कंटिन्यू रखेंगे। इट्स नॉट दैट कि आपने सिर्फ स्टार्टिंग में ही रखा या सिर्फ एंड में ही रखा। यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द एंटिटी थ्रू आउट द ऑडिट प्रोसीजर। Okay, am I clear? And if I'm not, then please post your doubts, and I'll definitely reply you. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic. And the English students, if you are revising, then please stop it and let's continue with the topic. I have planned that I will teach you till the limitations of internal control, and if the video will exceed half an hour, then I'll continue it in the next part. So first let's complete this portion. 2.3. So we have discussed identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement, and we have discussed understanding the entity. We just discussed that understanding of the entity is a continuous process. Now we have to discuss the whole component, that is understanding the entity, its environment, and its internal control. Okay, so here we just discussed that it is a continuous process, and here we are going to discuss the full component, right? Essay 315 is divided into two parts. Let me show you. Essay 315 is divided into two parts: identifying and assessing, and through understanding the entity and its environment, and including its internal control, right? Including its internal control and this. So this part we have discussed in the last video, and we have discussed that understanding is a continuous process. Now we have to discuss this component, understanding the entity and its environment, including its internal control. Okay, let's start. So the auditor shall obtain an understanding of the entity, relevant industry, regulatory, and other external factors, including the applicable financial reporting framework. So what are the factors which the auditor should consider while conducting the audit? So the auditor shall obtain an understanding. He should understand the following factors. So what are they? The factors are that what is the relevant industry in which he is going to audit, for which he is doing the audit, what are the regulatory requirements, and what are the external factors, and including the applicable financial reporting framework. So the auditor is supposed to have an understanding of all these factors. I guess this point is clear to both of my students, English and Hindi, right? So this I am not going to explain in Hindi. Moving on to the next topic, and you will find that this topic is repetitive. You may have find this topic in the past chapters also. Then next factor is your nature of entity. That what is the nature of entity in which you are going to audit. So nature of entity basically includes its operations. That what are the operations he does. Okay, what are the activities which are done in the organization, with whom do they sell, to whom do they sell, to which, to with whom do they purchase, with whom do they do the various transactions. So operations are basically the operational activity that is carried out in the organization. Then under whose ownership is the entity, so ownership and governance structure. Then types of investment that the entity is making. So the auditor is supposed to have the understanding of all these. Then the way the entity is structured and how it is financed. So what are the four factors? Operations, ownership, types of investment, and the way entities is structured and how it is financed. So we discussed two factors: relevant industry, regulatory and other external factors, then nature of entity including its operations, ownership and governance, then types of investment and how it is financed and how it is structured. To enable the auditor to understand the classes of transactions. So in this way, the auditor comes to know about the assertions with which he has to deal with. That means the classes of transactions, the account balances, and the disclosures. Let me explain you these 2 points in Hindi as well. सबसे पहले तो ऑडिटर इज सपोज टू हैव एन अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि वो किस इंडस्ट्री का ऑडिट करने जा रहा है, उसके अंदर क्या रेगुलेटरी फ्रेमवर्क्स हैं, क्या एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स हैं. फिर सेकंड पॉइंट ये बोल रहा है कि जो नेचर ऑफ एंटिटी है उसमें क्या क्या उसको अंडरस्टैंडिंग लेनी है कि वो क्या क्या ऑपरेशनल एक्टिविटी कर रहा है. ठीक है. फिर ओनरशिप क्या है, गवर्नेंस स्ट्रक्चर क्या है, किस टाइप के इन्वेस्टमेंट से वो डील करता है, एंड किस टाइप से वो स्ट्रक्चर्ड है, कितना डेट है, कितना इक्विटी है. ओके. द वे इट इज स्ट्रक्चर इज द ratio of the debt and equity. That how is it structured? Is it more debt oriented or it is more equity oriented, right? Then the second point is the entity selection and application of accounting policies, including the reasons for changes thereto. That means what are the accounting policies on which the entity has prepared its financial statements. Then the auditor shall evaluate whether the entity's accounting policies are appropriate, and he has to check that what they have selected and the accounting policies on basis of which they have prepared the financial statements. So is it appropriate and is it consistent with the applicable financial reporting framework? So as an auditor, you should have the understanding of the same. Then entities, objectives and strategy, and those related business risk that may result in risk of material misstatement, and the measurement and review of the entity's financial performance. So these are all the factors that the auditor is supposed to have for the understanding of an entity. If you're not clear with the last 3 points, let me explain you to my Hindi students. So इसमें ये है कि एंटिटी ने कौन कौन से पॉलिसीज़ को सेलेक्ट किया एंड जो पॉलिसीज़ पे उसने अपने फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स बनाए क्या वो कंसिस्टेंट है एप्लीकेबल फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग फ्रेमवर्क से ही उसको चेक करना है. फिर इसके बाद में आपका फोर्थ पॉइंट है एंटिटी क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव और स्ट्रैटेजी है एंड क्या बिजनेस रिस्क है, क्या उससे कोई मिस स्टेटमेंट हो रही है, एंड जो मेजरमेंट एंड रिव्यू है एंटिटी की फाइनेंशियल परफॉर्मेंस का तो वो कैसा है. ठीक है. तो ये सारी की सारी चीज़ों की ऑडिटर को अंडरस्टैंडिंग लेनी है. नाउ मूविंग ऑन टू द इलस्ट्रेशन. Prince Blankets is engaged in business of blankets. Its major portion of sales is taking place through internet. Advise the auditor how he would proceed in this regard as to understanding the entity and its environment. So they are saying that Prince Blankets is engaged in the business of blankets, and its major portion, that means the operational activity, basically its operations, is taking place through internet. So that means he sells his blanket through online shopping. So advise the auditor how he would proceed in this regard. That as an auditor, so what should auditor consider while understanding the entity? So while understanding entity and its environment, internet sales is being perceived as a risky area. So as an auditor, if you will go to do the audit of this firm, then what you will conclude? You will conclude that as it is doing internet sales, so that means the entity is operating in a risky area. There may be high misstatement, high number of misstatements. by the auditor, and thereby would be spending substantial time in extensive audit procedures on this particular area. And so as an auditor, now आपने understandingly, you have to be understanding of this area that they are operating in internet sales, so that means this is a more risky area, and accordingly you will plan your audit and you will plan more extensive audit procedures on this specific particular area to be satisfied that whether there are material misstatements here or not. Now let's start with topic number 3, and in this way your 2 topics are over and there are total 12 topics. This chapter is a very lengthy chapter. I guess this is the most lengthy chapter after company audit. So this will take a lot of time to cover because I am covering the chapter in 2 languages as well, but we have more 10 minutes left in our hands, so let's complete this portion also. I'll try to complete the maximum portion. So internal control. So here they are again talking about your essay number 315, identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environment. The internal control may be defined. Now what are internal control? Internal control क्या है? So may be defined as the process designed, implemented and maintained by TCWG management and other personnel to provide a reasonable assurance. यहीं तक समझते हैं. Okay. So they are talking about the process design. So what are the processes designed by the management? What are the processes designed by the management and how it is implemented and maintained? Designing of processes are different thing, implementing of processes are different thing. So they are two different categories. Okay, so how the management has designed its internal control policies to reduce the number of misstatements or reduce the risk of material misstatement, and they have designed, but then you have to check that whether it is properly implemented and whether it is properly maintained. Now who can define the internal control policies for any entity? So it can be defined by your TCWG management or other personnel. Okay, so these 3 people, basically these 3 departments are responsible for designing of the internal control policies, and the implementation and maintenance, it lies with the whole organization. So why do they design the internal control policies? To provide reasonable assurance about the achievement of entity's objective. So they design the internal control policies so that there is a reasonable assurance that the entity has achieved its objectives with regard to the reliability of financial reporting, effectiveness and efficiency of operations, safeguarding of assets and compliance with the applicable laws and regulations. So if they do these 3 things, process designed, implemented and maintained, so they can have a reasonable assurance that the entity has achieved its objective, and also the financial reporting is reliable, effective and efficient. Also their assets are safeguarded and they have complied with the laws and regulations. So they believe that if they will implement these all policies, if they will design these all policies, then these all things can be done. Now they are saying the term controls refers to any aspects of one or more of the components of internal control. So here control means component of internal control, basically to reduce the risk of material misstatement. So if you are not clear with it, you will be clear in this part. Okay, objectives of internal control. Now what are the objectives of internal control? Internal controls हम लोग क्यों लगाते हैं? जिससे रिस्क जो है वो कम हो जाए. We implement internal control, we design internal control in order to reduce the risk of material misstatements. So transactions are so the objective of internal control is that the transactions are executed in accordance with management's general and specific authorization. That means the transactions which are going in the entity, they are in accordance with the management's authorization. It's not that the management is unaware of the transactions that have been gone in the organization. तो इसमें ये बोल रहे हैं कि जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है, सबसे पहला ऑब्जेक्टिव है, अगर आपको ये ऊपर वाले पैरा की बात समझ नहीं आई है तो आपको ये डेफिनेटली आएगा. ये लोग ये बोल रहे हैं कि जो ट्रांजेक्शन्स एग्जीक्यूट हो गए हैं ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, तो क्या मैनेजमेंट को उसके बारे में जानकारी है? क्या ये मैनेजमेंट की ऑथराइजेशन से ही हो रहे हैं सारे ट्रांजेक्शन्स? लाइक सपोज आई विल गिव यू एन एग्जांपल दैट एनी इवेंट on with the name of any organization. So if you are using the name of any particular organization, then you will have to take the permission of the head of that organization, right? So similarly, the head of the company or then any entity, is the management or TCWG. So you are supposed to have their authorization to perform any transaction. So the first objective of internal control is to check that whether all the transactions that have been occurred in the organization, are they in accordance with the management's authorization? Has the management agreed for these transactions, right? Okay. Then second point is here, all transactions are promptly recorded in the correct amount in the appropriate accounts and in accounting period in which executed so as to permit preparation of financial statement within a framework of recognized accounting policies and practices and relevant statutory requirements, if any, and to maintain accountability for assets. Now this is very long, we could not understand anything, right? So let's break it into parts and then understand. So all transactions are promptly recorded in the correct amount. Now the second objective is that the transactions that were executed, so are they promptly recorded with the correct amount and in the appropriate accounts? ऐसा तो नहीं हुआ है कि परचेज में सेल्स कर दिया और सेल्स में परचेज कर दिया, right? So you have to check that whether the transactions that have been occurred, are they with the proper amounts and are they into proper accounts, okay, and in the proper accounting period, okay. So these three things you have to check: correct amount, correct account, and correct accounting period in which executed so as to permit the preparation of financial statement within a framework of recognized accounting policies, so that the preparation of financial statements in accordance with the accounting policies and practices is properly done and relevant statutory requirements are also fulfilled, if any, to maintain accountability for assets. So the second objective is that we have to check, we have to means try that more and more transactions, maximum number of transactions are with the proper amount, account, and your accounting period, in the accounting period, and a proper financial statement is maintained. इसको मैं हिंदी में समझा रही हूँ कि इसमें हमें ये चेक करना है कि जो हमारे सारी की सारी ट्रांजेक्शन्स हैं, क्या वो सही अमाउंट के साथ सही अकाउंट में और सही अकाउंटिंग पीरियड में हुए हैं, और साथ ही में क्या जो हमारी फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स हैं वो हमारी अकाउंटिंग पॉलिसीज़ के अकॉर्डिंग्स में है, एंड क्या हमने स्टैट्यूटरी रिक्वायरमेंट्स हम कर पाएंगे। तो ये सारी बातें हमें करने के लिए इंटरनल कंट्रोल्स लगाने होंगे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में। तो हम जो कंट्रोल्स लगाएंगे वो उस टाइप से लगाएंगे जिससे कि ये सारी बातें हमारी फुलफिल हो जाएं। सो द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ इंटरनल कंट्रोल इज टू डू द थिंग्स इन द वे they are written here, okay. Then the third objective of the internal control is to safeguard from unauthorized access. Assets are safeguarded from unauthorized access, use, or disposition. Disposition means to sell, use means to use, and unauthorized access means nobody has access, nobody has unauthorized access to the assets of the company. So if you want to safeguard the assets, you have to put internal control. That means to protect. Safeguard means to protect. So the objective of internal control is to protect the assets of the entity from unauthorized access, use, or disposition. ये पॉइंट हिंदी में मैं बता देती हूँ कि एंटिटी का थर्ड ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है कि वो जो असेट्स है ना उसको अनऑथराइज एक्सेस से बचाएगी। मतलब ऐसा नहीं हो कि वो एक्सेस नहीं है उस बंदे को एसेट को यूज़ करने का, फिर भी उसने यूज़ कर लिया या फिर डिस्पोजिशन कर दिया या एक्सेस कर लिया। तो ये सारी की सारी चीज़ों को कंट्रोल करने के लिए इंटरनल कंट्रोल हम लगाएंगे। Then the recorded assets are compared with the existing assets at reasonable intervals and appropriate action is taken with regard to any differences. Also, the fourth objective of internal control is that the recorded assets are compared with the existing assets at reasonable intervals, and if there is any difference, then it is properly you are properly able to find the difference. So the recorded assets are compared with the existing assets at reasonable intervals, and if there is any difference, then you are able to take appropriate action. That means अगर आपको ऐसा लगता है कि ये जो डिफरेंस है ये नहीं होना चाहिए या कुछ डाउट है तो आप उस पर प्रॉपर एक्शन तो ले पाओ। तो वही चीज़ ये लोग यहाँ बोल रहे हैं। Then entity's internal control. The auditor shall obtain an understanding of entity internal control relevant to audit. Although most controls relevant to the audit are likely to relate to the financial reporting, not all controls that relate to financial reporting are relevant to audit. So here as an auditor, we are considered with only the controls that are relevant to the audit. We are not considered with all the controls that are relevant for financial reporting. So it is the matter of auditor's professional judgment whether the control individually or in combination with others is relevant to audit, and it is up to the auditor कि उसको कौन कौन से internal controls को consider करना है. So it is the professional judgment. It is as per the professional judgment of the auditor, and the auditor is basically concerned with the internal controls that are relevant for this audit work. Then what are the benefits and understanding of internal control? So the understanding of internal control assist the auditor. Assist means to help. Internal control लगाने से क्या क्या benefits होते हैं? So if we put internal controls, if the entity is putting internal controls, so if the entity is putting internal control, so the auditor is helped. How is the auditor helped? So auditor can identify types of potential misstatement. Auditor can identify factors that affect the risk of material misstatement, and auditor can design the nature, timing and extent of further audit procedure. तो ये तीनों चीज़ें जो हैं, अगर वो एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग ले लेता है इंटरनल कंट्रोल की कि ये जो है मैनेजमेंट ने इंटरनल कंट्रोल लगाए थे, तो वो क्या कर सकता है, मिस स्टेटमेंट पहचान सकता है, ये जान सकता है कि जो रिस्क है उसका क्या इफेक्ट है, उन फैक्टर्स का रिस्क पे क्या इफेक्ट है, एंड नेचर, टाइमिंग, एक्सटेंस उसके फर्दर ऑडिट प्रोसीजर की कैसी होनी चाहिए. They are just saying that the benefits are that if the auditor has an understanding of the internal control that are implemented by the management, अगर वो एक understanding ले लेता है, if they take a understanding of the internal controls, then he can identify the misstatements, he can identify the risk, and he can further design the further audit procedures. Okay. Then they have given an illustration. So this illustration is talking about auditor GRN Associates appointed for P&G Limited, a manufacturing company engaged in manufacturing of various food items. So while planning an audit, the auditor does not think that it would be necessary to understand internal controls. So advise the auditor in this regard. Now they are saying that Auditor GRN Associates were appointed by P&G, a manufacturing company that was engaged in manufacturing of food items. So when the auditor was planning, he didn't consider the internal control. So we just have to advise the auditor. So they have just given the answer. The auditor shall obtain an understanding of internal control relevant to audit. All the most controls relevant to audit are likely to relate, but not all the controls are applicable for auditor. So the auditor, as per his professional judgment, should have an understanding of the internal control that are relevant to audit. Okay, so this was the point. All this was the illustration talking about. Then we will consider the aspects of internal control from the next video. Okay, so I'll try to complete the third topic in the next video, and the third topic is quite lengthy, I guess. Yeah, so I'll try to cover maximum portion in next video, but as 32 minutes video has been recorded, so we will continue it in next video. Then see, these topics are topics are small also, so we can cover the video in 9 to 10 parts also, but let's see that how many parts are being made. So I'm ending this video here, and if you're finding that you're not able to understand any specific topic or any line, then you can comment down. I'll definitely explain you this, and if it is helping you, then please also let me know. Also let me know that whether this Hindi and English explanation is helping you all or not. So I'm ending this video here, and thank you so much.